Why, hello there, beautiful people. Caz Blackheart back with my first mock draft of the season. I know I'm a little late to the party. Everybody else is like on their fifth one or whatever, but this is number one for me. And I think I'm going to try to do a mock draft every other Monday at least. I mean, I could go for every Monday, but we'll have to see how that works. I can at least promise one once every other Monday. So expect 2.0 to come out no later than 2 weeks from now. So pretty much Super Bowl week, you'll have a second one, or maybe next week. We'll have to see what happens. But let's get into it. So the first two picks, as you guys see, are pretty unanimous down the board. Everybody pretty much has Joe Burrow going to the Bengals and then Chase Young going to the Redskins. And it makes a lot of sense. Andy Dalton can pretty much be cut from the Bengals, and it would save them a lot of money. I don't think they would have any type of cap penalty after cutting him. So Bengals need to restart at quarterback anyways with Zach Taylor as the head coach. And then the Redskins are getting Chase Young. I mean, a lot of people see him as the number one player in the draft, and the Redskins could definitely use another edge rusher across from Montez Sweat, because at this point Ryan Kerrigan is just, he's really too old to be any type of effective for the Redskins. So Chase Young's going to be the pick there. Then I have the Lions getting Derek Brown out of Auburn, the defensive tackle. Now, here's where a lot of you guys are going to start disagreeing with me. I know a lot of people have Jeff Okudah, the cornerback out of Ohio State, going to Detroit, but with Snacks possibly retiring, the Lions are going to need some help on the defensive line, and I think Derek Brown would be a good pick. I personally see him as the best defensive tackle in this draft class, and it's not even close to me. So Derek Brown goes to Detroit. And here's another pick where a lot of people might disagree with me as well. The Giants are going to take Andrew Thomas out of Georgia, the offensive tackle, who I have as my number one offensive tackle. And a lot of people are thinking, well, they'll probably get a receiver like Jerry Jeudy or CeeDee Lamb because they don't really have that game-breaker receiver. Golden Tate's getting old. Sterling Shepard is a good number two option. Good, not great, by the way. But I just think you need to get an offensive tackle to protect Daniel Jones if that's who you're going to be investing in moving forward. And there are so many good receivers in this draft to where I think the Giants can afford to wait until the later rounds to pick up a receiver. So Andrew Thomas is a pick there. The Dolphins picking Tua Tagovailoa. That is another pretty much consensus pick. I know he has that hip issue, but I think this is a good pick for the Dolphins. First and foremost, they have 3 first-round picks, so pretty much they're playing with house money at this point. I mean, Ryan Fitzpatrick played pretty well down the stretch for the Dolphins, so they can pretty much just have Tua redshirt this year, and he'll get to work with, NFL-level medical staff to get his hip right and all that. So literally, they could probably just throw him on IR and just roll with Fitzpatrick and Rosen for next year before getting Tua to start in what would be effectively his rookie year, but his second year with the Dolphins. Number 6, I got the Chargers picking Justin Herbert out of Oregon. Now, not a lot of people are big fans of Justin Herbert. I mean, he kind of crapped out towards the end of the season, but I think the Chargers are in dire need of a quarterback because obviously Phillip Rivers isn't coming back, and as much as I like Tyrod Taylor, he's not a franchise quarterback. So if they want to start Taylor for a year and then just roll with Herbert, or maybe put Herbert in midway through the season, that's fine with me. But I think the Chargers have to pick up a quarterback here. Number 7, I got the Panthers picking up Jeff Okudah. And I almost gave him Jerry Jeudy at this pick, but I mean, you already got DJ Moore and Curtis Samuel. I don't think you need a third receiver. Although they could probably go Jeudy or something like that. But I think they definitely need some corner help because I'm not really too big of a fan of Ross Cockrell at this point. And I don't really see many other positions in need that can really be filled right here for the Panthers. So Jeff Okudah, he's the best player available. They got to take him here. The Cardinals are going to pick up Jerry Jeudy at number 8. I just think Kyler Murray needs some weapons. Larry Fitz is probably done after this year. I think he already said he was going to retire after this year anyways. So getting Jeudy, or they could go CeeDee Lamb or T. Higgins. I don't know. But I think they pick up a receiver no matter what right here. And same with the Jaguars at number 9, CeeDee Lamb. will go to the Jaguars, or if the Cardinals pick up Lamb, maybe they get Judy, maybe they get Higgins, but I got him picking up CeeDee Lamb here. Now, don't get me wrong, Chris Conley and Dede Westbrook were okay, but I think getting CeeDee Lamb here would be a big upgrade to put him across from DJ Chark, who definitely is the top receiver for the Jaguars right now, but he's probably no better than a number 2. So you go out and get CeeDee Lamb, who could potentially be your number 1 receiver, and you just keep building around Gardner Minshew. He's definitely going to be the future in Jacksonville at this point. And at number 10, the Browns will pick up Austin Jackson from USC. I know Baker didn't have that great of a year, but part of it was the offensive line just wasn't very good. So I think the Browns need to focus this offseason on building their offensive line up. And we'll see what Baker does this year. Just don't give him any chance to have like any excuses. And I'm not even anti-Baker. Like, I'm actually pro-Baker. But he did not play very well at all this year. The Jets will pick up Mekhi Becton out of Louisville. They also need some offensive linemen in front of Sam Darnold. I wouldn't be shocked if they picked up a receiver. I mean, I just think they need more than Robbie Anderson. I don't even know if he's going to stay with the Jets after this year. But at number 12, I got the Raiders picking up T. Higgins, teaming him up with his former Clemson teammate, Hunter Renfrow. So you get another Clemson receiver. Higgins is probably the best available right here. And outside of Renfrow, the Raiders just don't really have any dependable receivers. Tyrell Williams is all right, but AB pulling whatever he pulled just really threw this team off kilter as far as receivers go. So getting Higgins would definitely help out the passing game. And if they get Higgins, it'll be a good future with him, Renfrow, and Darren Waller. Definitely got more weapons, and now Derek Carr would have no excuses at this point. Now, AJ Epineza will go to the Colts at number 13. I just think the Colts need a successor for Justin Houston. He's definitely getting up there in age, and you can never have too many good pass rushers. At number 14, I got the Buccaneers picking up Grant Delpit. And I have him picking a safety instead of a quarterback because I highly doubt that they're going to let Jameis Winston go. I think, the 5,000 yards and the 30 touchdowns are what they're looking at. They're not looking at the 30 interceptions and all the fumbles and whatnot. They're going to give him one more year to prove himself. They'll probably franchise him or something like that, but they could definitely use some safety help. And I think Delpit could probably be a really good pick like Derwin James. Like, he's going to be like a really good safety like a Derwin James or Jamal Adams. So the Bucs get their game-changing safety. At number 15, I got the Broncos taking Laviska Shenault out of Colorado. At this point, he's, in my opinion, the best receiver available after Judy, Lamb, and Higgins are picked. And the Broncos could use another receiver to go along with Courtland Sutton. This is definitely one of the worst receiving cores in the league, and I really like Drew Lock, so they have to start giving him some weapons to work with. At number 16, I got the Falcons taking Yetur Gross-Matos. I don't know if I'm saying his name correctly. It's like Yetur Gross-Matos, I guess, out of Penn State. I initially wanted Tennessee to draft him, but I don't think the Titans will be even close to picking him up. But the Falcons could just use some front seven help in general for the most part. I wouldn't be surprised if they picked up like Javon Kinlaw or something like that. But I got Gross-Matos going to the Falcons because they definitely need some pass rush help. I got the Cowboys picking up Xavier McKinney out of Alabama at number 17. They tried to get Earl Thomas. They failed. So now they'll finally fill the hole at safety that they've had for the past few years. I wouldn't be surprised if the Cowboys traded up to get Grant Delpit, but I highly doubt it. And I'm not doing any trades in any of my mock drafts, by the way. So McKinney goes to the Cowboys at 17. At number 18, the Dolphins' second pick. This one they got from the Steelers. I got them picking up DeAndre Swift out of Georgia. They don't have any good running backs on their roster right now. Kalen Ballage is trash. Everybody else they have pretty much is trash. So I think they get the best running back available. And when you have 3 picks in the first round, you can afford to draft a running back in the first round. So Swift goes to the Dolphins. At number 19, I got the Raiders picking up Isaiah Simmons, the linebacker out of Clemson. Now, some people have him mocked at number 12 to Oakland, but I think they get Higgins first, and then they try to get Simmons at number 19, and I think they'll be able to get him. If not him, they can get Kenneth Murray, but the Raiders just need some linebacker help, and I think they'll get it in the form of Isaiah Simmons. At number 20, I got the Jaguars picking up Kenneth Murray. They're also a team that might need some linebacker help if Telvin Smith doesn't come back, and they'll get it in the form of Kenneth Murray. At number 21, I got the Eagles taking Henry Ruggs III, the receiver out of Alabama, and Bama could have 3 receivers go in the first round. Obviously, I have Judy going top 10, and then I have Ruggs going right here, and then they could also get Devontae Smith, who had a really good season this year. But I think the Eagles take Ruggs here, but I just think they'll take a receiver regardless. I think Ruggs is probably the best available at this point, but they really need receiver help because a lot of their receivers got beat up this year. I don't think Nelson Aguilar is coming back. I mean, pretty much every Eagles fan I know hates his guts anyways. So I think they'll get a receiver in the form of Henry Ruggs. And then number 22, the Bills will also take a receiver, but they'll pick up Jalen Reagor out of TCU. Cole Beasley did a pretty good job this year, as did John Brown, but I think they just need a third receiver to add for Josh Allen. So they could get Reagor or they could get Justin Jefferson. I have them taking Reagor. At number 23, I got the Patriots taking Jake Fromm, the quarterback out of Georgia. Now, Tom Brady, I don't think anybody really knows what's going to happen with Brady. I don't know if he's coming back. I don't know if he's going to retire. I just don't know. But I'm not going to assume that Brady's coming back. I'm going to assume he's not going to re-sign. Maybe he'll retire. Maybe he'll go elsewhere. But regardless, I think they need to look towards the future at quarterback, and I think Fromm is probably the best quarterback available up to this point with Tua, Herbert, and Burrow all gone. Maybe they'll go Jordan Love, but I think Fromm will probably go to the Patriots. He kind of fits the Belichick style more because he's more of a pocket guy, but we'll have to see what happens. And then at number 24, I got the Saints taking Justin Jefferson. Now look, I like Traquan Smith a lot, but he's not a good number 2 receiving option. I think you need somebody across from Michael Thomas if you really want to see the Saints move forward as far as passing goes. And I don't think they'll take a quarterback this year. I think they'll actually bring Teddy Bridgewater back, but I think Breeze will be back regardless. And you still got Taysom Hill as well, so you can't forget about him. But I think they wait until the second round to get a quarterback if Teddy doesn't stay or if Breeze doesn't stay or whatever. But I think they get a receiver in Justin Jefferson, who's local, having gone to LSU. So they get their number 2 receiver option. At number 25, I got the Vikings taking Trayvon Diggs out of Alabama. Of course, he's the younger brother of Stephon Diggs. And the Vikings could probably use some cornerback help since I believe they're losing a few guys in free agency. So Diggs is the pick for the Vikings at 25. At number 26, the Dolphins, using the Texans pick, will get Tristan Wirfs. Now, after trading Laramie Tunsil, their offensive line just kind of went into complete shambles. So they got their quarterback now, they got their running back now, and now they get an offensive tackle to help rebuild this offensive line. At number 27, I got the Seahawks taking Shane Lemieux. The offensive line, especially on the interior side, has been a big issue for the Seahawks for the past few years. So I think they need to start rebuilding that starting this year if they want to make a run back to the Super Bowl. That's what they got to do. At number 28, I got the Ravens taking Raekwon Davis out of Alabama, the big defensive lineman. He can play D-end or D-tackle. And I think they'll probably wait till the second round to address the need at receiver because they definitely need somebody across from Hollywood who's not Willie Snead. But I think Davis is definitely a big need for the Ravens, especially after how Derrick Henry just ran all over them. They're going to have to start building up their front seven again. And they love their Alabama boys for some reason, so I think they'll get another one. Speaking of Bama boys, I got Tennessee taking Anthony Jennings, the edge rusher out of Alabama. Now, I thought about putting Travis Etienne here, but I think picking a first-round running back would kind of be disrespectful to Derrick Henry. So I thought about Dobbins, I thought about Etienne, but I think they'll get another pass rusher. Cameron Wake, I mean, he did well the first game, but he's just way too old to really be a dependable starter at the edge. And if I remember correctly, Kamale Correa is in the last year of his contract, so Tennessee's going to have to address it. with all the money they're going to have to spend on Jack Conklin, on Ryan Tannehill, and on Derrick Henry, I think Correa will probably be a cap casualty anyways. So getting Jennings will definitely fill that hole pretty quickly. At number 30, the Packers are going to pick up Gabriel Davis, the receiver out of Central Florida. They are really in dire need of a receiver to the point where I think they might try to trade up to get one of these receivers because, I mean, outside of Devontae Adams, they really have nothing at receiver. Aaron Rodgers has just really made a lot of these guys look a lot better than they actually are. So getting Davis, he might be a sleeper. He might be the dark horse out of all these receivers, but I think he's a pretty damn good receiver. Scouts seem to love him a lot, so I think the Packers reach on him here, but they'll pick him up. At number 31, I got the Chiefs taking Paulson Adebo, the cornerback out of Stanford. Overall, the Chiefs could definitely stand to upgrade at cornerback. They have a lot of guys who are probably no better than number 2 corner options, like Bashaud Breeland, like Kendall Fuller, but they can get a number 1 right here in Adebo. I think he has a lot of talent. He's 6'1", pretty good size for a cornerback, and his cover skills are amazing. So I think this would be a good pick for the Chiefs. And last but not least, I think the Niners pick up Jedrick Willis out of Alabama. So a lot of Alabama players going in the first round of this draft. I just don't think the Niners have a lot of like huge glaring needs. So they might as well get their future replacement for Joe Staley now. Staley doesn't have too much longer to go in the league, so you might as well get his replacement. And I think Wills is a pretty damn good offensive tackle for the most part. But anyways, that's going to do it for me, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know in the comments section what you thought of this mock draft. What would you change? What do you think was a good idea by me? And how I can improve these. Thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate any and all feedback you guys have. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that sub button for mock drafts every single Monday. And I think Tuesdays I'll probably just do like a 7-round mock draft for the Titans because I'm a huge Titans fan, as most of you guys know. Well, some of you guys probably don't know because you guys are new to the channel, but I am a huge Titans fan. And I might just do like a Titans mock draft on Tuesdays. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you guys hit that like button, hit the sub button if you're new, and you have yourselves a wonderful rest of your day night whenever you're watching this. Like I always say, guys, no matter what happens, make sure you keep that mofo rolling. I love y'all 3,000. I'm out 5,000. Deuces.